How do I get into the Ivy League? How do I become a valedictorian? How do I start pursuing my goals? By starting. Advice is not starting. Asking for advice is stopping you from getting into the Ivy League. Half the time people ask for advice because they fear the embarrassment and failure that everyone went through to achieve their goals. And the other half of the time, they just want to make themselves and their actions feel validated. And I don't want you to be like them. So in this video, I'll be showing you a step-by-step learning process to frame your decisions and ultimately reach your goal of getting into the Ivy League. Now, don't get me wrong. Advice isn't always a bad thing. But if 99% of people are unsuccessful and the same 99% of people that are unsuccessful ask for 99% of advice, maybe there's a lesson here. That's why there are books upon books on how to build a business or how to get six-pack abs, but 99% of people don't have those things. You'll never get a truly actionable answer by outsourcing your entire learning journey out of fear of that exact same journey. The problem is a lack of understanding. People don't understand how to learn. Maybe they should be asking for advice on how to learn. Who knows? I had a friend in high school. Just so I don't expose his actual name, let's just say like his name is, I don't know, Alex. Alex was someone you'd describe as perpetually in the shadows of his own potential. He had dreams, as we all do, and for the longest time, it remained just that, dreams. His most difficult, most challenging dream was to run a marathon. And not just any marathon, this was the Los Angeles Marathon, something that seemed like near impossible for where he was at, currently. I mean, for months and months, he would just keep talking about this dream of his, like it's low-key getting fucking annoying, until eventually he actually decided to run the marathon. Not next year, not someday, but this year actually, which was what, like 2020 back then or something like when COVID was around. And by doing this, he ticked off the first box of the learning process framework, which is number one, having a conscious, meaningful goal. He had this goal in mind for months and months. It kept nudging at him no matter what he tried to do. And with it being so difficult, I mean, it's like it's a fucking marathon. It would be the greatest victory if he was able to accomplish it. So what conscious, meaningful goal will you have? Getting to the Ivy League? Getting a full ride? Think big. And if you're willing to, just put in the comments to let me know and I'll be able to respond. Now, Alex isn't going to run this marathon without any preparation. I mean, that's a pretty stupid idea. So what did he do? He ran every single day for months leading up to the marathon. He was already in cross country in high school, so he's been doing this for years now. He'd been forming the habits that allow him to achieve that goal, which is the second step of this learning process. Start forming the habits that allow you to achieve that goal. For your journey, this habit could be, putting more time in for studying or being more involved in school clubs. You can't expect to reach a worthwhile goal without setting the habits that actually allow you to achieve it. If you're a high school junior in the US and you're interested in consulting, like getting Stanford interviewers to help you with your, interview prep, having Ivy League students to help with their essays and much more, shoot an email to shinwoo@admitproconsulting.com, and the email will be in the description just in case you don't get it. Now, it wasn't easy for Alex, and it shouldn't be for you either. Any meaningful goal that you have will never come easy, because why would it? Alex came out of a 6-week break after fracturing his ankle, and I remember he would just bitch about the whole recovery phase. How getting from ground zero to where he used to be pace-wise was the most difficult part of this whole journey. But he was able to manage it, both the pain and emotions that come with change, which completes step number 3, which is manage the pain and emotion that comes with change. The first few days, weeks, and months will be extremely hard. You're becoming someone you never once were. Of course it will be hard. Becoming someone that can actually achieve the goals you've set for yourself. But the big reminder here is that you have to manage this pain. It isn't physical pain, obviously, but it's more like, say, like a growing pain for your psyche. And let me tell you, it'll be tough quitting the old addictive habits and replacing them with, what seems like boring and mundane habits. But the pain and transformation that comes with it is quite literally life-changing. And lucky for us, life-changing for the better. Now, once you decide to replace your old habits with new ones, living a life completely out of your comfort zone, you won't be able to just, set out with the same knowledge that you had before. The knowledge that you have currently is exactly what brought you here to this unfortunate situation. But you can fix this with step 4, which is program your mind with information relevant to that goal. He spent a whole week watching educational videos, not just on how to run a marathon, but how to run it well. He learned about mental segmenting, since running is also a psychological battle, how pacing groups work in marathons, and much, much more. And once again, you must do the same. The knowledge that you have in your brain is like the sword and shield that you take out into battle. So if you don't take the time to gain new knowledge, you'll be just walking out there naked, basically. That's why you must program your mind with new information that is relevant to your goal. Say your goal is getting a higher SAT. What you should be doing right now is figuring out what the digital SAT looks like, what the questions look like, if there's any tips and tricks on how to, answer these questions quicker. Find the habits, the tricks, the techniques that create success and apply them into your own life. If they can do it, so can you. And lastly, you should always experiment with different techniques, which is the final step of this whole learning process framework. There's no key in this world that can fit and open every single door. And the same can be said for studying techniques. This is why it's crucial for you to go out there and try a few things and see what's best for you. I don't know how your brain receives and retains information. I can't read your mind. Certain techniques can get you 1% better results than the next person. This is your edge, your asymmetric point of leverage against your competition. This 1% might not seem like much, but this advantage compounds over time. I tried basically all that there is, and this learning process framework is what worked best for me. Not wasting any time asking for advice just to validate myself and my actions. And with this, now I'm just doing the work that's in front of me and making huge progress. Now, knowing how to get started on achieving your goals is great and can be a huge help, but treating school like a game will be able to get you 10 times the results than other students. So if you want to watch that video, you can do so by clicking here.